Am I crooked? Can you tell? I mean, I'm not crooked, but am I crooked?
You've been crooked since the day you were born. Ba-da-doo-doo. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo. It's the final countdown. How did that
Don't
sound?
get us demonetized. Welcome to the Wrong NDN Podcast.
Native Americans of all trades, masters of none.
What does that mean? Oh, we have a lot to say. We are not the experts.
But we talk to the experts on a variety of issues.
I'm Brittany Schulman.
Kenrick Escalante.
This is the
Wrong NDN Podcast.
Welcome back to the Wrong NDN Podcast, Season 2, Episode 10. It is the final episode. I am Brittany Schulman.
Goitz kamadum ventiv. I'm Kenrick Escalante. And yes, I'm excited. It's Episode 10. We did it. As I tell you guys every time we meet, if you like what you're hearing, subscribe to our podcast. And also, if you like us on the YouTubes, go over there and click that red button. Why? Because we're trying to trick that algorithm. We want to get more Wrong Indians in our community. We want to get you guys involved, and we want to hear from you too. So click the like, give us a subscribe. And if you like Brittany, give us that 10 stars that they want. You know, she wants all those stars, all of them.
And by all means, please put a comment down below and y'all's comments have been really great and helping us plan for Season 3. So if you could just keep sharing some information, we greatly appreciate it. I've gotten to learn about a lot more folks. The delivery man is outside. It's very weird. I've got to learn about a lot more folks who are doing really cool things. And that's really what we like to showcase and highlight here at the Wrong Indian is natives doing cool stuff. So we have some new series coming out. I can't give it all away, but there will be some more natives do what and natives eat and all the things. So we're very excited.
And a really cool thing, I mean, this is what I get back to. Like, feedback is everything. And like one of the biggest feedbacks we got is from one of our fans, from like a real, just organic fan, you know, reached out, and, you know, hopefully we're going to be doing some real cool collaborations come Season 3. So, I mean, you know, we're nothing special. We just want to help cultivate good content. So
yeah, we like being here, and we like talking and sharing all the things. And we're going to slide right into what are we watching? Segment number 1.
Man. You know, I don't know if it's maybe like in my brain, I consider it like a holiday movie, but I have watched School of Rock again. I don't know why.
Jack Black?
Yeah. You know, like that movie's like 20 years old now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. That's how old we are, Brittany.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Mm-mm.
It's 2020.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I was in my car with my wife, and for some reason, you know what actually happened? A Led Zeppelin song came out, and I was being all obnoxious and wanting to sing the song out loud, and then it hit my head. I was like, I'm gonna go watch School of Rock. And so then I went straight home, and I literally just sat there and just turned on School of Rock, and oh my God, it was just so refreshing. It was like, man, I miss good Jack Black, you know?
Oh my God. He's got, I think it's a YouTube series where he will pick apart something. So he did Spider-Man, and he talked about Into the Spider-Verse, which I love that movie. It's so good. There's never been a comic book movie that has truly captured the essence of reading a comic book.
Oh yeah.
So cool. But so he did this whole pick apart of all the Spider-Mans and why he liked, because he's a super comic geek too. So yeah, I like Jack Black from way back when he was Tenacious D.
Yeah,
That's how long I've been a Jack Black fan.
Absolutely. I love Tenacious D. It, like, you know, it was funny because like the one funny line I kept telling my wife, and I'd even send it to her like via text. I'd say, "You're tacky and I hate you." But other than that, I mean, you know, I've been watching Mandalorian, and I hear that you're finally caught up.
I have been waiting for this recent episode. Spoilers. I've been waiting so much for this recent episode that came out because I have had in my own head it both lived up and didn't live up to my expectations. I mean, I knew who the actor was. That's the Mandalorian.
Right.
We knew that it was the same guy from Game of Thrones, the king of the Southern Isles. I forget his name. Whose head got, and all I can see is just his head being crushed by the mountain. Also spoilers, but
yeah, I was gonna like, you know,
spoilers. I spoiled it all. All the spoilers are happening. But he had to take his helmet off. Now, here's the thing that I've always wondered about the Mandalorians who do not remove their helmets is what kind of situation, he had helmet hair. It's great. But also what kind of situation was going on with the helmet hair? Is it the kind of fantasy version of like Tarzan? You remember the cartoon Tarzan where he's got all these like dreadlocks but absolutely no facial hair or chest hair? Like, we know that couldn't be real. If he was stranded in the jungle with the monkeys, he didn't shave. He wasn't clean shaven. So I was wondering if it was going to be that kind of fantasy of, well, he's got long hair and it's locks and it's all matted up, or if he like shaved it. But no, he has greasy hair like my bangs currently. He had the greasy hair, and then he still had his mustache, and I was like, why don't you get rid of that? Because
not only did he have his mustache and kind of 5 o'clock shadow beard, but yeah, it's a beard that's been tended to.
And you can't do that with the mask on.
Well, here's the thing, and I think they even, you know, they kind of brought it up in the episode too. Bill Burr, the comedian who's the character that was in that episode, he brought up that. So what is it? Is it you can't take off your helmet or no one can see your face? Like, what's the rule? You know? And I think they implied that, and forgive me for all my Star Wars fans who like the gatekeepers of Star Wars if I'm wrong. But I mean, I think in season 1, they highlighted the fact that he takes off his helmet. The rule is that he doesn't take it off in front of people. So like he showers, he eats, he drinks.
Well, I have seen him eat with Baby Yoda, and it was such a cute. It was a couple of episodes back. It was I know he's Grogu. Come at me, folks, but it was where he lifted his mask up just enough to drink the food, and you see Baby Yoda going,
yeah.
Like we all were collectively, at least I was, because I'm nosy. But yeah, so I think that was a really nice, sweet moment at the end after they shot up everybody and they didn't have to, where he goes, you had to do what you had to do. This doesn't count.
Right.
Now, it's nice to have that outside validation. I don't know how internally Mando feels about it. I'm pretty sure there's some processing. He may have been triggered. I felt triggered for him actually in that moment as he's like, the machine's about to go off. I got to take this off. I don't want to.
Right.
Like I felt triggered that whole, and then it kept being longer. I was like, oh, now he's got to do this. Now he's got to do this. Now right. I was so triggered for him. I was like, oh, but he needs to put his helmet on.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't say this, lead, cause this is the lead up to the final episode of the season. So,
wait, we're only getting 8, 10, 9. Where are we at? I have no idea.
The Mandalorian is like the Wrong NDN Podcast. They're on episode 9. and they will end with episode 10.
Oh, sweet.
So anyway, I mean, I wouldn't say this was like the best episode of the season, or is it even like a top 5er of all the episodes of both seasons? But what I'll tell you this is there was some really cool takeaways from it. Like it really showed, and you heard it in the narrative with Bill Burr. Like he said it, he was like, sometimes you have to make a choice. Sometimes you have to go beyond the line you've made. And, Mando did that. Like he had to do that. Like he had to decide. He was almost like a parent at that point. Like it was like, what am I going to do for my kid? and he sacrificed his religion, like, his beliefs. Like
he crossed a religious line that he shouldn't have and he wouldn't have crossed had it not been for baby Grogu. Also, did you hear the tip, the little Easter egg of people think they want freedom, but what they want is order. It's like, oh, new order. Here it comes. We're moving away from the Empire and the Republic, and they're creating that first order.
Well, again, Bill Burr, like his character is so cool. Like I'm ridiculous. I don't even know his character name in Mandalorian.
It doesn't matter.
Bill Burr in season 1, because he's from season 1, and now in season 2, he brings up something that's really cool, and it kind of ties into the Star Wars movies. I believe episode 8, the Rian Johnson film. What Rian Johnson was trying to say was, hey guys, at the end of the day, what people want is freedom. We think about this big galactic war that is Star Wars. Yeah, you guys always think there's a good side and a bad side, but realistically, there are just two sides that are destroying everything, even the good side. If you think you're on the bad side, but you're doing good, you have a purpose. If you're on the good side, but like the bad people think you're the opposite of them, you're still doing a disservice. So like what Rian Johnson's trying to say is, like, think of it like a tripod. There's the good, or the light, the dark, and then there's just the civilians who just want to be free.
Well, and you really saw it in not so much Star Wars, because what's his face was a little wonky for me in these last few movies. But if you go to the Black Panther movie, they did it really, really well. The villain actually has a mission, purpose, and you're going, wait, are you the villain? You're not really the villain. You may be going about it in a different way, but in another movie, I could be rooting for you.
Absolutely.
So that's and when you try to put things in a binary, it usually isn't a reality, because there is more than just this or that, even though we played that a lot.
Exactly.
You colonize your thinking, people. So what else are you watching?
Oh, I mean, look, I won't go into detail, but obviously I was wrapping up Selena on Netflix, still being annoyed by all the ridiculous people on TikTok who are complaining about that series.
You have the haterade level on TikTok. Your algorithm, man. Or maybe it's just the vibe you vibe.
No, I mean,
the haterade vibe.
It's the fact that I guess obviously I'm following people who enjoy the series, but come with that are like the people who want to hashtag and connect to that algorithm. So you get the haters of it too. And here's what bothers me. How dare you try to be like a Selena fan? And I've even read articles too. And I'm like, what? How are you a Selena fan? And be like, they took Selena out of the show. I'm sorry. The point of the show is to give you more than what we were given in the movie.
Yeah, that's why you do any series versus movie. Why you do series versus movie.
I mean, if you follow along the series, and 1, you're a fan and you know her actual life. 2, yes, you're a fan of the Jennifer Lopez movie. It goes beat for beat, but it gives you detail. It gives you detail about her brother, her sister,
who I wanted to know more about after the movie. I'm really, really I was really interested in the sister story in particular, because I thought it was so cool that, you're a woman drummer, and I wanted to be a drummer at some point.
Well, there you go. And I mean, that's the thing. Like in the series, it touches on those things in detail. It shows you the passion and even the stubbornness of Selena's father. It goes into like having to live on a bus. The struggles of being a
performing family,
English speaking family who's entertaining in a Mexican world, like having to learn Spanish so that she could be in this world that she wants to be. So yeah, I just think it's
also we'll see. I see Selena's story is also forging your own path because she had she lived, would have been a mega star. I really do think that. And there wasn't a path at that time for her to enter into mainstream pop music. There wasn't a path for her. And so by doing the Tejana music, there was a path for her to both live her passion and her talent, and then eventually transition into the place she should have been able to enter into very easily and readily. So I like that about that story as well.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great series. I can't wait for season 2. Like, don't get me wrong. I think, was it a little bit low budget? Probably, but I think it still gave us that, like, the story itself was low budget. Like, that story is like literally like from the bottom up. So like, I wouldn't even be surprised.
From the bottom, now we here.
I wouldn't be surprised if season 2 is like, even like the budget's bigger. It's more, the actual episodes are more grand, and
depending on the success of the series, you could see, because again, Netflix doesn't put out a series. What their little algorithms don't tell them you're going to make money, but you see it in their originals, is that a lot of times that first season will be a little more low budget, and then gauging the success, it'll get huger and huger and huger, and the budget goes up.
Absolutely.
And am I cutting in and out? Because I feel like I'm cutting in and out.
Right now, I do not hear anything, but we've been wrong before. So, other than that, I've been rewatching like season 1 of The Crown with my wife, and I think that's, it's a great show. Anyway, but I won't get into that. What I will get into, because it's probably going to take a little time, is that I watched Disney's Investor Day rollout, and we're talking 4 hours of amazingness. It just shows you that Disney owns the world.
When they did, Ralph Wrecks the Internet. Yeah, Disney, all of that was Disney property. Exactly. Every bit of it. I mean, the internet was Disney property. We could be owned by Disney right now.
Look, I wouldn't mind, if the House of Mouse wants to, give me a call, but, hey, that Investors Day meeting was just amazing. I mean, it showed you everything we can look forward to from Disney, like just their original pictures that are going to come out, from Pixar, from Marvel, from Star Wars. I mean, I was just having like geek fandom. I mean, don't get me started. I mean, first of all, 13.
What is the thing you were actually looking forward to the most? What is the one, if you could zoom in on one thing, what is the thing that you're like, I want that right now?
Yeah, I won't lie and say like everything, but don't get me wrong. I mean, there's 13 original series that are coming out in Marvel. I'm interested in all of them, but I'm really excited about WandaVision. WandaVision is going to be amazing because we want to see what happened with Black Widow and how are they tying in Vision into this episode. I mean, because this is taking place after the events.
Wait, is it WandaVision, those Scarlet Witch and Vision? Because they get together and do their thing.
Yes, Scarlet Witch.
It's not Black Widow.
Sorry,
because there is a Black Widow movie.
Yes,
that's already ready.
Yes, that was in my brain.
I'm waiting for.
Right, and they reported that they're going to still hope that they can put it out on theaters. So yes, it's Scarlet Witch and Vision. And they had a relationship in the movie series, and so this goes in right after Avengers, and so Vision's dead. Like, so how is this show happening? So I'm really excited about how they got him
back. They went back in time. They just picked him up, threw the stone back in his head. He's good.
I don't know.
And then my question is, because Vision is an android, are they really in a relationship? Does Vision have rights? I was in a racism conversation, and they switched over to androids and AI, artificial intelligence. It was like, are you serious? We haven't figured this piece over here with us human beings. You want me to add these folks in too? And with the conversation, my solution was what my solution always is. Let's all come to the table. So if we're going to say these folks have a meaning and purpose, and they're folks, if they're peoples need to be at the table. But anyway. I think that's a solution for everything.
He's artificial intelligence, ma'am, and he's the greatest of all kind of artificial intelligence. But yeah, I'm interested in Loki, like the Loki series that's coming out. Like and again, that's happening. You saw it. It was like an Easter egg that happened in Avengers where Loki disappeared. He got the Tesseract and he disappeared, and everyone was like, "Where did he go?" And now they're gonna show you where he went.
Before he got back to Asgard and took his daddy's place.
Yes. And then obviously there's She-Hulk that I'm excited about. And I'm excited that they're going to bring back Abomination, Tim Roth's version of Abomination, and that Mark Ruffalo will be making an appearance inside She-Hulk. But
I hope so.
No, he is. It's already done. But for me, I guess the number one thing that I'm excited for, I want it now, right now, because I know we can go into talking about all this stuff from Disney, but Star Wars. There are two things that they have to tie together, and I can't wait for it to happen. And that is, one, they have confirmed that Ahsoka Tano is going to have her own series. Second, they have confirmed, and they are filming now, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
And it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So Darth Vader has been around for 10 years, and returning as Darth Vader is Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader, and my mind is blown. And don't get me wrong, I know there's speculation about like, how is that possible? How is Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi supposed to meet when?
Or are they?
It's been confirmed.
Did they meet?
Yeah. One, Kathleen Kennedy said it. She said this is going to be the fight of the century. And then Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, he says, they brought Aiden back, and we're going to get to have the third biggest fight ever among Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. See, because it would technically be like, it would be like the third time they fight, because they fought before.
And he lost his legs and all that.
Right. And then
they fought where Obi-Wan became Force Ghost.
Exactly. See, that's where
this is the second fight.
Right. This would be right there in the middle. And the thing is, people are thinking like, how is that possible? Because when they met in A New Hope, the way they spoke to each other sounded as if this was the first time they've met since Revenge of the Sith.
Here's the thing about old Obi-Wan. He's a lar.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point blank call it out. He goes, Yoda trained me. Then we find out Yoda didn't train him. Then he goes, your father's dead. Well, he's technically not dead, but he technically is. And right. I mean, Obi-Wan in those, we go back and watch him. Obi-Wan's a lar. So I could believe that he didn't know what he was talking about. Or did they make him a lar?
Yeah, I think he just kind of sprinkles things, and you're going to figure it out. I know people like that. I've had mentors who are like that. Like, they're just like, I'm just going to give you this little bit, but it's really not the full truth. And you're going to circle back and be like, why didn't you just tell me this 10 years ago?
Yeah, that's lame.
They want you to learn.
Well, then you can still learn with proper information. In fact, I would even suggest that having the proper information might be a better way to learn.
Yeah. But it doesn't make a good series, so I'm sorry. So I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for that. And then like my whole thing is like, okay, so Hayden Christensen, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, and now we have Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. Is there any way these three are going to be on screen? Because the timeline suggests it.
There is room and possibility for a lovely crossover.
I don't know. I'm just like,
because I love when the DC, jump over the DC, when the DC series, when they do that, and they had one that was a crossover between Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. It was a 4-part crossover, and It was done so beautifully. And I could definitely see Marvel could have been taking notes. Disney could have been taking notes because,
Well,
everything.
I won't go into it because I want to know what you've been watching, but I will just hint this. They will be playing with the multiverse.
Ooh.
So your favorite animated movie?
Yeah. I mean, they did that and did it so well.
Spider-Man 3.
Have they reached a negotiation with Sony? Because Sony still owns Spider-Man. But they've got the X-Men now. Disney owns X-Men too. So
Spider-Man 3, you can now confirm that Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, is coming back from the Sam Raimi movies. You can confirm that Jamie Foxx is coming back. So that's 2 villains from 2 original iterations of Spider-Man, which is leading the way for all 3 Spider-Mans to be in the same film.
That could be really cool.
It's going to happen.
Except for what's his face, the sarcastic Spider-Man. I don't like him. Not Tobey Maguire, and not the youngin, the other one in the middle. I don't like him.
Garfield.
Yeah,
Andrew Garfield. Well, I'll tell you this: Tobey Maguire was spotted doing a costume fitting last week.
But you know, Tobey Maguire just does that on the regular, right? He's been cooped up in COVID. He needed something to do. Anyway.
He wanted to talk spandex. Enough of that. Brittany, what have you been watching?
Holiday sing-alongs. They did, which actually ties into the other thing that I'm watching. And my kids love it. Disney did earlier on in COVID a couple of family sing-along event things where stars get up and they sing their favorite Disney movie songs. My daughter watched that on repeat for a little while because she just, and then would come up with her own dances. We'd sing the songs. It's great. So they have a holiday version that just came out. And that was one of the things we did for my birthday, was sit and watch the holiday version of the Disney sing along. And
time out. Boop, boop, boop. Someone just mentioned a birthday.
Yes.
Happy
I had a birthday
to you.
Whoop, whoop.
Happy birthday to you.
Whoop, whoop.
Brittany's old and now we know it. Happy birthday. Happy
no matter
birthday,
how
Brittany.
old I get, you will always be older.
So true. Hashtag elder status.
I don't think you're there. I think you're still creepy uncle status, but we won't get into that. Masked Singer also did a holiday sing-along where they brought back different folks to sing their songs, and then the 3 who are still remaining: Crocodile, the Sun, and the other one. Oh shucks, I completely forgot the other one.
But it's
Crocodile,
old now.
Sun. No. It's got one more episode. So This was their holiday episode where they did their holiday songs, and then there'll be one more episode to see who they all are.
Okay,
So
I have a question for you, ma'am.
Sure.
The owl.
The owls. There's 2 of them.
No. The sun. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, the Sun.
Okay, so
Mushroom was the other one. Go ahead.
The Sun is no longer on the show?
She's still on the show.
Oh, she is. So we don't know who this person is?
We don't know who the Sun is. You got to guess?
Okay. I have no clue. All I know is that I saw something on TikTok or something where what's her name? What's one of the judges?
Scherzinger.
Whatever. All I know is she's crying and she's like, "You're the best singer I've ever met. When I hear you sing, the emotion rings out."
She actually did that for Seahorse, and we now know that Seahorse is Tory Lanez.
She cried for Tory Lanez.
Yes, she did.
She has no. That's it.
That was actually and I will say this, as someone who didn't know Tory Lanez's music, she actually has a really good voice. It was everything she sang. That was actually my daughter's favorite, was Seahorse. She was so excited, and then she doesn't quite get the concept of the show, because for her, whenever they are unmasked, they are the winner. So she was so excited that Seahorse won, because
Tory Lanez is a dude.
Oh, it's not Tory Lanez. I knew I was going to do that.
Like, what are you talking about?
Shucks. Let me just get this.
Tory Lanez isn't he the guy
He's the one. He's the shooter.
with Meg Stallion?
Yeah, he's the little guy. Oh shoot! Hold on.
I'm triggered. Every time she says little guy, I get
He
triggered.
is a little guy, though.
You know what? I'm sorry. We all can't be over 6 feet tall.
You don't have to, Tori Kelly. You don't have to be over 6 feet tall, but he is like 5'2". He's a little fella. Anything shorter than me is a little fella, and I'm 5'7.5".
What does Tori Kelly sing?
I don't remember. I don't know her career.
Anyway, yeah. Well, I don't.
Tori Kelly? It's not Tori Spelling. Tori Kelly.
Dear God, I hope it's not a spelling.
No, she was on the show though. Yeah, Tori Kelly. Let me see what she is. She's a really, really, really good singer.
Interesting.
Oh, she's a gospel singer. That's why you don't know her music.
Are you calling me a heathen?
No, I'm saying you don't listen to gospel music.
I don't. So what now? What happens now with The Masked Singer? Where are we?
Oh, we've got the last three. I'm most interested to find out who Mushroom is, because Mushroom has done a wide range of music and has this really interesting mushroom persona. And there's been a lot of hints that it may be Jaden Smith.
That would be cool.
That would both be cool and just elevate him in my eyes, because he's okay. I'm not really sure though.
Interesting.
I'm very, very interested to find out who Mushroom is. So we'll see. And while I'm waiting to see, I'll be sipping some coffee out of my Native Humor. Come on now. Native Humor is something else mug. We still have them, and we still have them available in red, in blue. Use the code Wrong NDN.
And if you're
to get 20% off, you go to BrittanySchulman.com/merch. It's the something else collection.
And that is BrittanySchulman.com. And go to the merchandise section where you can get these two mugs, where if you're keeping score, Brittany is double fisting on her mugs right now.
I mean, I need coffee and water. It's good to keep a balance.
I agree. You know what I'm a fan of drinking coffee and then having a seltzer water at the same time.
Okay. That's your thing. I'm not here to judge hard.
All I know is these mugs are awesome. It's not too late to buy them as a belated Christmas gift, or hey, guess what? 2021, let's make it awesome, because we are something else. So, get out there, use the Wrong Indian code, get yourself a mug, get both of them in your favorite red or blue.
And you're supporting the podcast by supporting our little merch line. So thank you so much.
Another way you can support the podcast is to support one of our sponsors. And one of our sponsors is Magic Spoon. Like we tell you every week, on average, Americans eat 100 bowls of cereal a year. And most of those people who are eating them, kids. They're the largest consumer. And guess what they're eating? They're eating sugar, kids. As if I'm talking to a child. They are eating sugar. Or if you're like me, you're eating it out of a cup, because I am a child. But it's mostly sugar. And Magic Spoon is trying to help curb that. What they're doing is they're giving you that nostalgia of flavor and feel from the box without the guilt. It's giving you grain-free, gluten-free, low-carb, high-protein, and 0 grams of sugar per serving. So it's definitely the best alternative that you can have right now if you need that cereal fix. If you need that frosted or fruity or cocoa blueberry,
cinnamon,
apple cinnamon, salted caramel, cocoa, all those amazing flavors that you had as a kid. This is the best way to do it. And you can actually get some with some free shipping with the Wrong NDN Podcast. So all you got to do is go to magicspoon.com and then get yourself some cereal, and then use our promo code, which is Wrong NDN Podcast. Wrong NDN Podcast, and get yourself some free shipping on us. Who doesn't want some free shipping? I know I'm cheap. I will take any type of free anything.
Well, speaking of cheap, let's talk about this COVID vaccine. What a segue that was.
That was the most
so what
ever.
Well, I just they're already starting some to give it to people. They're in England. They've moved it through. Here's the thing that I am concerned with as a person who genuinely has both trauma and historic trauma with the medical community. I have seen how drugs who go through the entire FDA process, go through the whole process, end up 6 months later with these desperate side effects that you are now going 1-800 bad drug. So that's this what it feels like with the COVID vaccine is that it hasn't gone through the whole entire process because it's been such a short window, a short period of time. And now we're already starting to move it through people. I have concerns. Now, the information that I did find, because, I've been researching it because I don't take nothing. What I don't do a little bit of research on is that, yes, people have been working on the particular SARS for 10 years. So there has been a plethora of research for them to pull from for this vaccine. But I don't know that I'm in the first round. There's actually the other thing is, and I wanted to ask you, that they were talking about you won't get your next stimulus check if you don't take the vaccine. Would you take the vaccine for the next stimulus check?
Well, I mean, I don't think that's like a thing for me in regards to like if I get a check or not. But I don't even think I got to worry about a first round. I mean, we're not going to have access to it. I mean, first round is going to be your first responders and people with urgent need. So, I mean, I don't think we're going to even get our hands on it until maybe summer of 2021. So
I still think that's too soon. Well, I need a plethora of people to go through this first to see, is this the zombie? Is this the zombie vaccine? Is this the Walking Dead? Have we entered this place yet?
Well, I mean, I think we're already going to be through, already probably 2 quarters of the year. And so we'll definitely have some feedback about what's happening. And I think they're being very straightforward. I mean, they're telling you that, you're not going to feel great when you get it. There are going to be instant side effects, but they're small and they're not very long lasting. At least that's what they're promising.
Do they know that?
I don't know, but what I do know is I trust the science, and I believe, and I've said this from the beginning, if Dr. Fauci says it's safe and, he takes it, I will definitely consider taking it. Why? Because I think anything that's preventative that can help save lives, not just myself, but everyone around me, it's worth it, So I think of my kids, I think of my dad, I think of my loved ones. So yeah.
Yeah, no one's more ready for this whole experience to be over than myself, as someone who's an introvert and needs to lock the door periodically and be away from people, and as someone who is also longing to be with people. However, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Let me just put that out there. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I am not against the science and the understanding and doing the research. I just have legitimate concerns. That's all. And
sure,
I'm happy to take the vaccine once there's been more studies, because what it is concerning that, again, the length of the process for me is concerning. The number of trials and the testing is concerning. I am concerned, and I am someone who, yes, I'm gonna put it out there, I don't take the flu shot. Because of how, now you do you, and I'm not opposed to people who take the flu shot. Do what is important for you and your family. I also know that it takes a period of time to come up with the flu shot, and at best they're guessing what flus is going to attack. So I, again, just have some concerns. And again, from someone who's coming from a marginalized community that the medical community has often used as guinea pigs, as experientials, as, is not necessarily always provided the best care, medically speaking. I have concerns.
Oh no,
my concerns are valid.
No,
I don't even need you to tell me. My concerns are valid.
Yeah, no. Those concerns, like I agree with. I think they are valid. And I would probably even share those same concerns. I think what I, just on top of my head now is that I'm curious what pressure there will be now because there is a quote unquote vaccine. Is what's the pressure going to be for the remote workers who've been approved to basically remote work all year long? How soon are they going to be pushed to go back to the office per se?
That's a very good and valid question. I think that if I would argue as someone, and my thing right now is that we have to think about working differently because the work and the way we work and how we've worked doesn't work. So I think we have to think about working differently. And I think that some of the concerns people had about people working from home are now like, but no, I produce the whole entire time. Right. No, I continue to operate the whole entire time. Yes, I can stay home and still be a productive worker. In fact, in some instances, I was a more productive worker because I could work. I wasn't confined to the 9 to 5, which is an illusion anyway. It's not really something that actually works. If you're working off of your energy levels, then you can actually produce more in a shorter amount of time than sitting at a computer staring at it for 6, 7, 8 hours.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really, I think, the thing that is going to shift now is even if we get this vaccine, you now have evidence of working from home and how you can be a better worker. I think anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if anything, what we need right now and what we're going to need, especially into 2021, is more self-care. Right?
Oh, you think? Well, the thing is that, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up as a topic is that a lot of times, and this is often marketed more.
You mean this wasn't organically just created? Like I just didn't want to talk about self-care organically?
No. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it is oftentimes, especially this time of year, it's marketed particularly to women that self-care is that bubble bath and the glass of wine at the end of the day. And this weird thing that self-care is about self, when really and truly self-care is not really about self. Self-care is about making sure, I go back to, it's all about our energy levels. So if you're operating in a place where your energy levels are where they need to be and you're operating in your zone of genius, then you are operating from a place of high energy. And so when you're producing, particularly like content creating, you're doing a lot of thinking work, then you have to have that moment where you come back down or you're going to crash. And that's what our 9 to 5 hustle culture is. It's a straight go up, 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 up. And then we wonder why people get sick and why people are hurting and why people are tired. It's because you never actually replenish your workload. And people are like, I just can't wait for the end. And then they out and veg out because their energies are off. So that's really to talk about self-care. It's not just about, it is about your energy level, understanding what works for you, and then also understanding where energy depleted from, because sometimes the bath doesn't work and the nice long soak in the tub doesn't work because that's only refueling your physical energy levels where your emotional energy levels may be depleted. It may be that you need to reach out to a friend because you need that emotional connection. It may be that you aren't having that mental challenge. I was just talking with my friend about her kid is like, she doesn't want to do her work and it actually turns out because she's bored. She is not being challenged. So how to find the space and place to create those challenges so that you're not bored. You don't, because what you don't move and what you don't move, you lose. So if you don't work your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, if you're not moving it often, then you're not growing, and you're going to be atrophied.
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to, if you don't use it, you lose it. And like my self-care, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love a glass of wine and a bubble bath, but no, for me, like I always have to hit the reset button because, like yourself, I am a creative and I do try to push the limits of how creative I can be, either in my workplace or in my, my side
hustles.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always constantly going, but then I get to a point where I know I need to slow down, and it doesn't mean that I hit the pause button and I go take a nap, or like I just, veg out. I agree with you. Like I have to do something else that's probably still stimulating, but that is taking care of my mind, body, and soul. So like for me, I like to always like revert back to my home, like as far as like where I come from, like my reservation. Like I love to get back to my culture, and even though I would love to say that I live in a constant state of practice 24/7, the reality is I get lost in my work. I get lost in family. I get lost in that 9 to 5 sometimes. So when I know I have to hit pause, it's because I know for me, I need that cultural refreshment. And that usually fills me up and gets me back to where I need to be. And then I can dive right back into my old 9 to 5 after that.
Well, it's very easy, particularly because it's seen as a positive to be a go, be the person that answers emails all the time, be the person who shows up to work early and leaves late. It's a American cultural expectancy of a good worker, when we know that doesn't make you a good worker. It doesn't even make you a worker who produces, because again, if you're doing a lot of thinking work, a lot of creative work, you will get burned out and drained. And that's one of the reasons we instituted seasons with the Wrong NDN, so that we can have some self-care in the meantime, in between time, because we do all the things all the time, all the things. And it's important. And again, being able to recognize which area your energy is being depleted in. I know it sounds very foo-foo, but it's not. But being able to recognize which area your energy is being depleted in helps you understand what to do to build your energy back up. And so I know for me, as someone who sits at a computer a lot, I need to bring my physical energy levels up. And the best way to do that is to get some exercise and to build your body. And we'd like to thank our sponsor, FNX Fit, for being a great place to get started for building that physical energy back up. FNX Fit's committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas. Sleep's very important to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support your active lifestyle for years to come. If you're like us, body craves movement, but it also needs to recover. Rest is just as important, self-care, as the actual work, because that's when your muscle grows. You know that? Did you know this?
I do know.
I'm not talking. Which way am I looking? Talking to you. I'm talking to you, friend. Did you know that your muscle only grows once you've reached it to its capacity and then let it rest? Reach it to its capacity, let it rest. That's when you get the growth that you need. And if you want to get some supplements to help you in that growth, to help you in those areas, you can go to fnxfit.com and use our promo code Wrong NDN, the word wrong, the letters NDN, for 15% off. And that's nothing to laugh at. 15%. It's not a little piddly 10% off. It's not 5% off. It's 15% off. So go to FNX Fit, see what you like, see what you need, put it in your cart, use our promo code Wrong NDN. Thank you so much for supporting us and supporting the podcast.
I enjoy that we had a very Brady Bunch moment right there.
Like, yeah, I don't know where you are.
I had to figure out. I have to look the exact opposite to see you.
I look over here, and
it's like I have to look at what's going on up there.
Well, does that make you happy? Because that's my next question. So what's making you happy?
You know what? It's really awesome that we brought up self-care. And that's actually what's kind of making me happy. What's making me happy is that, one, we're in the midst of the holiday season. My family, even though we're going to be in a COVID environment, we're still going to be together, and so that makes me happy. But getting back to my culture, as you know, like I told you, that refresh button. Right now, I'm in that state right now. I'm definitely burnt out when it comes to 2020. Professionally, just in life, I'm definitely burnt out. We've all had our struggles, and we've had to deal with tragedy, sadness. It's just been a year. So what's making me happy is that I'm reaching out to my songs that I sing from home, and kind of like when you're practicing for your muscles, right? When you go to the gym, you got to hit that and be consistent, and to do that, that's how you build success. Well, if you're a tribal singer, it's the same thing. Practice breeds success. So you can't just expect to wake up one day and be like, I know all my songs. It doesn't work that way. I mean, you have to put in the work. I mean, if you're dedicated to your culture and your people, you got to put in the work. And I've been doing that. I've been putting in the work, and I feel good about it.
That is awesome.
What's making you happy?
I'm done with the semester. I literally, before we started recording, I finished my last exam. I don't know what I made, but I know I'm done. I'm actually looking forward to, the program that I'm in is all about understanding governance and cities and administrating stuff, blah, blah, blah. However, I have decided to create my own path, if you will, and head towards the Native studies. So I'm hoping this new course of studies will be approved by the folkses that need to approve it. But being able to overlay my desire and passion for working for Native peoples in our communities with this different understanding of governance, it's really making me really happy. I mean, I have my moments where I'm like, screw the system. I don't need a degree. I don't have to have this. But then I also have the moments of, I really love learning. I cry during stats, but then I also love that I know what a left tail and a right tail is now. So that's, yeah, no. That actually genuinely makes me, I'm a kid who loves school, and who loves learning in that particular environment. There are lots of ways to learn, and you don't have to go to school to learn.
Right.
Maybe Nick, that would have been the perfect segue for another person that I'm hoping of a code for next year. I'm actually looking forward to our next season. I'm looking forward to meeting more wonderful human beings who are doing wonderfully amazing things. I'm looking forward. That's really what's making me happy is looking forward, being in this moment, being present and creating that presence with my kids and my family, but also looking forward to some of the things that are coming down the pipe. I'm actually pretty excited. I'm in a place, I mean, again, this year has sucked and it's been tragic and it's been horrible, but I'm actually, and when I started, I was already burnt out. I was burnt out and I was tired and kind of over a lot of stuff. And through this season, through this year, it's been a really nice and understanding about self-care and how that works and how to implement it. It's been a really wild journey, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on all those fronts, man. I mean, I can't wait for season 3. I can't wait for this break we're going to take so that we can cultivate the content that we want, and the collaborations that we've been thinking about. And, I'm also thankful that even in all this that has been 2020, I'm thankful that season 2 has helped build this community that we call the Wrong NDN Podcast. And, all these new listeners, people who just like to engage with us on social media, we thank you. I mean, it's been great. And I can't wait for it to double, triple, just in the masses going into next year. Nothing but big.
I would talk to myself in the car, so being able to talk to you is a blessing. And I mean that to all of our listeners. So thank you so much for letting us into your earbuds, into your home, into your car, into your television, wherever it is you listen or watch us. Just thank you so much. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. I'm also appreciative to be able to talk to one of your hometown heroes.
Absolutely. I was about to say. But even though we're wrapping up, we're not done. We have one last segment, and our segment is Natives Do What? And yes, I have a fellow citizen of the Fort Yuma Quetzon tribe who is our next guest. His name is Tudor Montague, and he's the original founder of Spirit Mountain Roasting Company. The boy makes coffee.
Natives do what? Make coffee?
Wait, what? We're doing this for YouTube. Wait, what?
Really?
What?
No. When that flips around, we will be looking in opposite directions. You do know that, right?
I know. So we have Tudor Montague. He, again, citizen of the Quetzon Nation. He is the founder of Spirit Mountain Roasting Company. He makes amazing coffee. And for you sci-fi geeks out there, we have a surprise for you too.
No spoilers. Hold on to the next segment. But in the meantime, in between time, make sure that you're following us. There will be some things happening on the Instagram and the Facebook. So go check us out. There may be some TikTok things happening. So there may be some Twitter things happening. Who knows? But in the meantime, in between time, make sure that you're following us in between the seasons. We're going to be still putting out some content, still putting out some things. And, there may be something special. There may be something else coming your way.
I hope you guys enjoy our next segment. You guys have a blast. Welcome back to another segment of the Wrong NDN Podcast. I'm Kenrick Escalante.
And I'm Brittany Schulman.
We'd like to welcome you back to our last series of the season 2 of Natives Do What? It's where we interview natives who have interesting jobs or businesses. And today we have a really good one. Our next guest is going to be from Fort Yuma. He's a fellow citizen of the Quetzon Nation like myself. His name is Tudor Montague, and he is the owner and founder of Spirit Mountain Roasting Company. Tudor is putting his passion to practice, and he graduated from Haskell Indian Nation University and the University of Kansas. Tudor spent his early career working for tribes in the environmental field, and he's also an amateur hobbyist in brewing. So I think that's where his passion started. Tudor's interest in coffee began when he noticed the similarities between brewing coffee and brewing beer, or I should say brewing beer and roasting coffee. And then from there, that's where his business took off. So as of right now, Spirit Mountain's been in business since 2015, and he's still searching for that perfect process. So I want to welcome Tudor Montague to the show. Welcome, Tudor.
Hey, good morning, brother Kenrick. Hey, Brittany. How you doing?
Good, man. I stumbled through that bio, but we're here.
Yep. It's all good, man. Sounded good to me.
It's pretty amazing. But usually before we really get into the interview, Tudor, we like to do a little game. And the game we do is called This or That. And what we're going to do is just provide you 2 choices, 2 different things, and you're going to let us know which one you prefer. Sound good?
Sounds good.
And
so the very first one is desert or tropics.
And feel free to elaborate your answers.
That's a good one. That's really tough, because, of course, I grew up here in the desert, and I love to, any chance I get to put my foot in the ocean, tropical waters, but I'd have to go with desert.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. So my question for you is Americano or latte?
Americano.
Nice.
No question.
I like Americano too. I like it too.
So, sweet or savory?
Savory.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's your favorite savory thing? Just to, add more to or this or that.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good question. I like to fire up the grill a lot. So a nice savory smoked roasted piece of Yardbird, some chicken or something like that.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
Some dead carcass, some nice. All right, this one's mine. Star Trek or Stargate?
Good one, brother. Good one. I think I know where he's going with that. I'll have to. That's a tough one, but I'll have to lean towards Stargate.
Why would you have to lean towards Stargate?
Because it was it's actually shot here on the res, man. It's local, and I had a small part in there.
Oh, look at there!
Damn!
Look at baby Tudor.
Oh man.
We're talking the 15 minutes that never left.
That's awesome. You guys are funny, man.
Do you have that up on the in your shop? You should.
Yeah, banner.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That is funny.
Last one is our most controversial. We've asked it of every single guest we have. We'll probably continue to ask it to get that definitive answer. So, is it Indian taco or Navajo taco?
Indian taco.
There it is.
Spoken like there you go.
And I apologize to all my Navajo brethren and sisters, but Indian taco.
It's regional, man. They just got to accept it.
Real quick story, a funny story. I was when I was in Haskell, I went with a buddy to a powwow up in I think it was Rosebud, and we're at the powwow. I was like, man, I want some fry bread. So I went over there, went to one of the stands, asked for a fry bread with the works, getting everything on it, and they were making it up, and I noticed they didn't put any beans on there. I said, hey, you mind if you guys got any beans, throw some beans on there? They looked at me like I was crazy, man. They were like, beans? What are you talking about? Beans on fry bread? So when you said regional, man, it truly is. It depends where you're at. I think things are a little different. So, yeah.
No, I've been over here on the East Coast for a little bit, and I had a chance to eat some fry bread, and I said, you guys got red chili? And they were like, what? Like, no, like it wasn't a thing. Like they had no clue to it.
I thought chili was brown before I moved to New Mexico. And it has beans, so
Exactly. So before we get started, to learn more about your business, how about you tell us more just about you? Let's get to know Tudor.
Yeah, right on. So I don't know how far back you want me to go, but I'll just kind of real quick synopsis. So I was actually born.
You can go back to this if you want.
I was born in Albuquerque. Actually, my dad was working for Sippy at the time, and shortly after I was born, they really made a decision to come back home because they wanted to raise me here on the res. So I was within my first year of life. I was back here, raised here on the res. Went to San Pasqual, SPHS, and then during that time, part of the reason I answered desert, we were always out in the desert camping and just getting out there, being out in nature. Got out of high school and then went to Haskell, Indian Nation University in Lawrence, Kansas, on to KU, and then got my degree and then joined the workforce and did that probably close to 15 years. I was in Mesa, Arizona and Phoenix, so connected with the tribes there, did some work for them. But yeah, my career was in the environmental field. So that's what, spent my days doing that, which was great. And I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to go to school and get a job in my career field, what I wanted to do. So I was really, really blessed with that. And throughout that time, I would come back, visit my mom pretty regularly. So I was always here in the community, at least a couple times a month between Phoenix, Mesa, and here. So yeah, that was it. Kind of did my previous career and then, made the decision to jump into what I'm doing now. So, yeah.
So I'm interested. Kenrick mentioned you went from brewing beer to roasting coffee. How did you do that, or what made you? Yeah, explain a little bit more. I'm very curious.
Yeah, and that kind of touches into what I'm doing now. But it was when I went to college in Lawrence. It was really the first time I got exposed to craft beer. They had breweries there, fresh farmers market, stuff like that. So it was really the first time I got introduced to fresh, locally created products. And fell in love with the craft beer scene, just beer in general, just the diversity of flavors and aromas, just like coffee. So really got into that. And it was one time, I think I was back here in Yuma for a vacation, and I saw a little beer kit in one of the, I think it was Hastings or something up there. Looked at it, bought it, and then that was it. Just learned that, started looking, finding resources and saying, hey, you can actually make beer at home. And that's what fascinated me, was taking the raw ingredients, grains, hops, something you can do in your home and create something that's delicious. So that was really the catalyst, that little tiny beer kit that I got at Hastings, and then just took off from there and did that for, God, it's been over 10 years now. And kind of, I was steering towards beer. So I actually went to brewing school, kind of did all of that. But yeah.
So what was the spark or that transition that made you go from doing just that as a hobby to then starting Spirit Mountain?
Yeah, I had, so when I went to Lawrence and I got my 2-year degree at Haskell, I got the degree with emphasis in business admin. So I always had an idea that I wanted to get into business, start a business. But at that time I had, it was an interest, but didn't follow it. Fast forward, did my career thing and started brewing beer. And that's when I kind of started saying, hey man, I could do this. I'm getting pretty good at brewing this beer. What's it going to look like if I start thinking about putting a business plan together? So that was kind of the actual spark, was that little beer brewing kit. And it kind of let me play with it and understand the process. And then I was like, hey man, this is something I love doing. And during that time, I was going to the brewing school. They had a section about roasting the grains so like dark beers, like stouts and stuff. And then they talked about roasting coffee. So that was kind of my first foray into, hey, you can also do coffee. It's kind of like a hobby thing you can check out and get. So that's when I kind of started steering on that too and say, hey, I love both of these. Let me play with them. And then, yeah, that was it. And then I started getting serious about taking a look at what it'll require to get started in business. Yeah.
So as a native business owner, like, have you faced any obstacles? And like, if you have, what advice would you give to someone who wanted to start their own business like yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So the biggest thing, of course, and I think it's for any person that wants to get into business, is access to capital. And that's getting your business started. So for me, one of the things that I was lucky is I had my career, I was working, so I had something I could start saving away for. I had some income that I could say. So when I got the coffee started, that was all my savings. And I actually, my 401k and everything just to get the business going. So I was lucky I had that. But otherwise, if I didn't have, that income, I don't think I would have been able to jump into it. So access to capital is really a big stumbling block. And that's for one part of it was part of why I focused on coffee versus brewing, because that's a whole nother game there too. So access to capital, and then not really being able to connect to anybody in the industry. I didn't have anybody that I knew that was roaster or anything like that. So I kind of just had to dig into it. I met some folks in New Mexico actually that put me into contact with some roasters. So, that helped out a lot. But then going back to capital was, I found a native lender that's based in Phoenix, and, had to work with them. And they, so grateful for that, because that allowed me to move the business to the next phase, to where I'm at now. So really, access to capital, access to professionals in the industry that you're going to get into, those are sometimes hard things to come by, for sure. So that's off the top of my head right there. Those two are kind of the sticking points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of capital and access, we know that 2020 has been really difficult for a lot of business owners in some ways, but it's also been beneficial for others, and it's very weird kind of way. So I just wanted to know what has COVID affected your business? And then what solutions could you share with our listeners, or what maybe we could do?
Yeah, absolutely. It did had significant impact. So I was able to, it was early 2019, I got a business loan through Native Capital Access, and allowed me to kind of set up my space here on the reservation, get a larger roaster. So, and that was 2019. So I had everything lined up, like, okay, we got everything set. We're getting our process down, learning what we can and can't do with what we have. So we had projected 2020 to be a year where we're really going to do some significant growth. I had accrued wholesale accounts. We had a website going. So we really started picking up steam. And then COVID happened. I remember it was literally the week before our powwow here, our annual powwow. We were going to set up and sell there again. Yeah, we were ready. We had everything set up. COVID hit and literally wiped out all of my wholesale accounts. So our casino, a couple of cafes we had locally. I had a cafe in North Dakota, Northern California. All of that just stopped within the course of a week or 2 weeks' time. Zeroed out our income wholesale there. So really put a pause on us right there. That was kind of a totally, we had to kind of say, hey, what's going to happen now? We've got this business loan that we got to take care of, all these expenses. But luckily, at that same time, I had the website that was already up and running. So that really helped us out, man, because like I said, we lost all of our wholesale accounts, but people were forced to stay home and start ordering online. So that was kind of the lifeline for us. Saw a big jump in web sales from that point. So that kind of sustained us for the couple of months where everything was totally shut down. And then stuff started slowly coming back. So not only were we able to retain our increase in web sales, we started getting some of our wholesale accounts back. Everything started opening up again. And then now we're kind of seeing that same cycle, things are starting to shut down again. So really having the website up and running and having our processes on that side kind of already nailed down is what saved us, I think. And it continues to remain a strong part of the business for sure.
Right. Yeah. So for someone who doesn't know about, your business, Spirit Mountain Roasting Company, I mean, what separates you from the competition? Like, in other words, I know, just a little backstory too. Before I left Yuma, Arizona, my wife and I actually had a little pop-up coffee shop, and, we bought specifically from Spirit Mountain, and we used to use that in our own blends that we used to put together, and we knew that distinct taste and the way he would specialize in creating certain batches. But for people who don't know, what separates you from others? Starbucks.
Yeah. Good question. I think I would like to think the care that goes into each batch that I roast. It's hard. So for like someone that's not familiar, so when you roast a batch of coffee, there's a lot of effort and time and concentration that goes into each batch. It's not just putting it in a machine, hitting a button, and then you got a roasted bean. So much inputs that I have to control to try to end up with the product that I want at the end of the roast. You could have a awesome coffee, and if you don't roast it well, it's not going to shine. So each batch, I say it's always, roasted with love and care. I care about, that. So I'd like to think that carries through in my coffee. Each bean I look at and take time to learn the characteristics of it, roast it. So I think the attention to detail in roasting and the freshness of a product is huge. So when we roast our coffee, we try to get it out the next day to orders, and even wholesale accounts, it's roasted. I don't ever keep roasted product in inventory and hope it's going to sell. Everything that goes out is roasted to order. So I think care about the process, freshness of the product is huge. And kind of a way to look at it is if, again, going back to craft beer, if you buy a beer in the grocery store in a bottle, who knows how long it's been sitting there. If you go to a brewery and you have a pint, totally different experience, and that's because it's been made right there, freshness.
Right.
So that's what we focus on as well. And then I think finally is just being an Indigenous owned business, where we have a unique perspective on things. So I think we bring that to the specialty coffee industry. So yeah, I think those are a couple of things that set us apart.
Cool. I mean, are you infusing anything? Are you guys doing any like cool flavors or different,
Yeah. So typically for the coffee, I'll never do any like vanilla or hazelnut stuff like that, because a lot of times those are like oils or something people will add after the bean's been roasted. And I think there's so much flavor and character within the coffee bean itself. I like all of our stuff that we put out on the site, and typically what we sell to wholesale is just the bean itself. The bean is speaking for itself, but I do like to play around in Red Moon. Working on I've done a couple of things, infusions, and these are infusions with the actual ingredients, so not a sugared oil or something that you put in it. So I've done I've done a chili cold brew before. So I've infused a chili blend from a buddy of mine. He grows chili, and I think they're up in Durango or somewhere. So he sent me a couple of ounces of some chili powder that they've grown and dried and stuff, and made an infused chili cold brew, which was delicious. And I'm doing a whiskey barrel aged coffee right now. So basically taking oak and whiskey. It's kind of similar to what you can do with beer, and then aging the beans on the oak and then roasting it. And a lot of that, the oak and the whiskey flavors come through. So those, but that's just local. I think next year we're thinking about maybe trying to launch during the summer, like cold brew chili infusion packs that we'll offer on the website, so people can open up, put some water in there, and you'll get that experience. So we are looking at it, but it's more of the natural infusions if we do any kind of flavorings.
That's awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Chili
it is.
And the whiskey, yes.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good, man. With the cold brew, we did it. The chili cold brew we did at an event in Phoenix, Moonlight Over the Mound, I think it was called, for Pueblo Grande, and people were just blown away. It's like it catches you off guard, because you get the full cold brew flavor, and then at the end of the drink, you get that little chili bite. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. We used to have a drink back at the shop too, where we would take coffee, and then what we would do is we would put it as an add-on, in the creation of it. So when we would make our lattes, we would put like that hint of cayenne in there. And you got it in the back, like you drank it nice and sweet, like you got a nice good drink, and then in the back you're like, oh wow, and it just hit your like teeth right there. Yeah, real good. But see, like I appreciate the idea of it coming fresh from the process of your roasting of the beans. So it's like you're not adding it; it's all in there when you make it. Yeah. I mean, I know like I could probably go on about wanting to know more just about your roasting company, but like I'm gonna go ahead and like take it back because we got some sweaties out there. We got some fans who really, I know, like we have a really good friend of ours, Dr. Lee Francis. He'd probably love to know this question. We teased about the fact that you were once on Stargate. I personally want to know, what do you remember from that? Like, can you like go back and just like, what was the process? Was it something just like you and your parents went to the tribe? Because I remember when it came. Okay, so basically, the Stargate film came to Fort Yuma. I know they came to our tribe and they wanted extras. And I remember, I think there was like a scouting process that you had to go and like, do like a rehearsal or something. And what do you remember about that? And how did you get it? And what did you think about actually being on the big screen? Because like you were like on the screen, like yes, there was tons of extras, but everyone knows like Tudor Montague right there, Russell, Stargate,
local hero,
the legend still.
You guys, man. I totally didn't expect this one, man, but that's cool. It was fun, man. It was a super fun experience. I just remember that they did the casting call, and I think they had it at the community center. So we went over there, jumped in line, a couple of buddies of mine, and we just got lucky. I think that the main lady that was hosting it, she kind of walked over. We were in line, and she pulled a couple of us out, and she said, we're going to do this and that. So we ended up being, they call it featured extras. So like you're saying, actually had us on the screen. So we were part of the group that the rebellion that helped Kurt Russell and them kind of fight back. So we were that small squad of people, which was pretty cool. We got to do some shoots in LA. So they flew us out there to do a lot of the indoor shots and stuff like that. But it was just an amazing experience, man. That industry is so cool. Got to shoot out in the dunes when they did all that stuff out there. So it was just mind blowing being able to see the industry from that side of it, seeing all the lighting guys, the people that are in charge of the, flames and explosions and stuff like that. So it was unforgettable experience for sure. And it was something that it was cool. We got to do a couple of other small things after that, but it was a matter of, I think I chose college. I remember I had something lined up where they were like, hey, you can try to pursue this if you want, but I decided to go to Haskell and kind of do my thing there. But it was a blast, man. The folks that get to do that for a living and a career, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
So wait, there's some deep cuts. You mean you've done other work other than Stargate?
Yeah, but just the way background dudes, man. So you remember they filmed In the Army Now down here?
Yeah.
I think I was an Iraqi soldier or something like that, but that was just connections from the people I met during that Stargate set that, they're calling up, hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? So yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah. I was looking for you in Scorpion King. I'm like, where's by the rock or something? But oh my gosh.
So you did make the choice to go to college and pursue and now to pursue coffee roasting as a business. What advice would you give to an Indigenous youth who are, they may be passionate about something or they may be interested in what you're doing? They're just trying to figure it out. What do you think you could, what wisdom would you impart to them?
Well, really, and it kind of depends on the individual and where they're at in life. But, if you have a passion for something, that's a key part of it. Finding your passion, because really a lot of times, regardless of what business you're in, there's times where it's really difficult, monotonous and tough. And if you have a passion for what you're doing, that helps you get through those times much easier. You really care about what you're doing. It's hard. You're working long hours, but you love it. It's going to get you that extra mile, so try to find a passion in perseverance. These are things that I've always been told and heard when I was young, and it's true. You got to persevere, even though nothing is really guaranteed. Like this whole thing, when I started, put all my savings into it, there's nothing I was going to guarantee it was going to work. It's like, hey, so you just have to have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, and persevere. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Don't give up. Believe in yourself. And like I said, as Native people, we bring a really unique perspective to whatever it is we're doing. So you have a foot up in that, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So just persevere, find a passion, keep putting one foot in front of the other. You'll make something happen. Yep.
Tudor Montague, Spirit Mountain Roasting Company, man. Before we let you go, and by the way, it's been awesome just chatting with you. But where can people find you? What website can they go to? How can they support your roasting company?
Yeah, so we have our like I said, our website. It's www.spiritmountainroasting.com. We have Facebook and Instagram too. So Spirit Mountain Roasting, both of those. That's where you'll find pretty much most of our information that we put out there. So yeah.
And remember that for our listeners, it is Spirit Mountain Roasting. Okay. There's another Spirit Mountain out there, but don't fake the funk. That is not Tudor. Okay. Yeah. Those seem like there's some type of Starbucks wannabes over there, but Tudor probably won't talk trash, but I will. Spirit Mountain Roasting Company. And, make sure you go to their Instagram too. You'll notice that Tudor does a lot of collaborations in Indian country as well.
It's like on the tip of my tongue. What collaboration did you guys just do?
Yeah, so we used OXDX for our print shirts. Yeah, for our Indigenous shirts. We've done some work with Ari from Couch and Made with the coffee soap and the face scrubs. So yeah, we're always trying to work together. You know, that's another thing, man. Together we're stronger. You know what I mean? We just work together, and we're a small part of the overall industry and whatever we're doing. So we got to all connect and bring each other up. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I could see a wrong Indian blend in the future. That could be really awesome.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we need to make it taste like jelly beans, you know, so it's like completely wrong. It's like, you know, it's coffee you ever take. Like, I'll make it in the backyard. And
but
you know what we'd love to do, and we plan on doing it probably after episode 10 here. This is our last episode of our season, but in between time, we're probably going to be offering some bundles of some giveaways on Instagram, and we'd probably love to do a collaboration with you, man.
Right on. Yeah, I'd be happy to be a part of that. And I appreciate you guys inviting me on. It's been fun, man. You guys got me with that Stargate thing, man. That's crazy.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that one, right?
I mean, and you still have the same teeth. I mean, that's amazing.
Half the battle. I mean, come on. You live sci-fi lore, dude. I mean, if there's anything that anyone lives iconically, it's because they've done something in sci-fi. It's like Luke Skywalker, Tudor Montague.
Right.
There it is.
I mean, come on. At least for the Quitons.
Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. I appreciate this time to talk with you, man.
All right, thank you so much.
Just one last thing. I'm sorry. I went on that whole Luke Skywalker Tudor thing. Here it is. It really, for Fort Yuma, it's like this. Rambo, Tudor Montague. And that's a deep cut for my Quitsons out there. You got to know that. Rambo. Good old Rambo Wash.
Oh, my gosh.
Tudor Montague. All right, man. That's Tudor Montague from Spirit Mountain Roasting Company. And that is spiritmountainroasting.com. Get out and get some good coffee. Sir. Indigenous made coffee.
Thank you. Awesome. See you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.